Hi, and welcome to today's session on continuous improvement concepts for small business. My name is Katie Lebeds, and I'm a small business owner too. I actually own two companies. First company, I am the president of Learning to Lean, which is a continuous improvement consulting company. And the second one, I'm a co-owner of Top Knot Virtual Assistants. I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt and a project management professional. I'll be your host for today and guiding you through this quick overview of 5 concepts that will help a small business improving your processes, saving time and money. In today's session, we'll cover those 5 concepts for small business. We all want to improve our processes, save time and money, so I'm going to quickly show you a few concepts that you can implement immediately to do just that. Let's get started. The first concept that we're going to cover is called Voice of the Customer, or VOC. Now, I want you to think of who are your customers? Don't just think of the customers that come to your front door or come to your website or maybe even touch base with you on Facebook. I want you to also think of your internal customers. So if you have employees or even suppliers, those are all customers of your business too. How do you know what your customers really want or value? I love this cartoon, right? We have the person here thinking our users love sleeping on beds made of nails. Of course, that's probably the person that owns the mattress store, right? And then you have the customer, the consumer on the right-hand side of the screen laying on the bed of nails and dreaming about a soft, comfortable bed. As the world has changed lately within the past few months, how do you know now what your customers want or value? Are you getting that from online chats or Instagram messages? Or are you getting that through possibly Zoom calls or looking at your metrics? Let's say you know your customer base very well, and traditionally you have known what they want and what they value. But how has what they value changed over the past 2 months? Now, the bigger question is, how have you changed or improved your processes to meet your customers' changing needs? Well, hopefully I've just given you something to think about. How do you gather your voice of your customer? Who are your customers? And how have their needs recently changed? Now, I want you to take that information and use it in the second tool called Hansei, or reflection. Now, for a reflection activity, reflect as a team in a brainstorming session. Now, your team could be like me. My team is a team of 1. So think about what went well, what we could have improved, and what we learned along the way. Some people know this as the start, stop, continue exercise. Just make sure that you document the outcome of the session. And remember, there's no bad ideas. We want to document everything, and we want to encourage people to speak what they feel. Some brainstorming tools that you could use for this reflection session include a mind map, a modified affinity diagram, or maybe just even a list of ideas on individual notepads or post-it notes. Again, we want to encourage creativity and openness during the brainstorming sessions. That's how we learn. Now that you have gathered the voice of the customer, understand their changing needs, and have done some reflection, take a look at that list. Look at those processes that you have written down, and I want you to think of what process or processes bug you the most. Now that you've thought about the processes that bug you the most, make a list of those processes. In that list, you want to list each of the processes that you thought of and decide which one or which ones that you want to work on first. Remembering you are choosing this particular process because it directly impacts your customer or the quality of the product or maybe even the speed of your delivery. Now that you have a list of processes that you want to work on that are reflective of the comments or the needs of your customers, let's look at the next tool. Number 4 is Kanban or signal. Kanban at its heart means signal. We typically use Kanban just like the image on the screen. It takes that list of projects ideas you just came up with and shows the status for each idea on the board. This allows anyone to quickly understand what's being worked on, what stage it's in, and when it's complete. This doesn't have to be complex. Just use a piece of paper or a whiteboard and some post-it notes. It helps to increase communication, stay organized, and understand priorities. Here's some examples of Kanban boards being applied. The first example is an automated Kanban board, so it's done in a system like Trello or Airtable, and this allows you to create a virtual Kanban board. The one at the top right corner of your screen is just like the one we saw on the previous slide, where it's just a list, maybe on a whiteboard or a large piece of poster paper with post-it notes on it. And as you walk by, you can see the status of each of the items that is being worked on. The last tool we'll talk about today is called 5S, or like I like to say, organize it. The concept behind 5S is a place for everything and everything in its place. The 5 S's are sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. The first step in sort is make a keep and a toss pile. Go through a particular area or even a desk drawer and look and determine what you need to keep and what you no longer need. The next step is set in order. So now that you know what you want or that what you need, determine the most efficient way to place those items. Next is shine. Ensure that your new work area is clean so you can start fresh. Standardize helps us to create a system to keep our items in order every time. So think about bins or shadow boards or foam shapes. It doesn't have to be expensive. There's a lot of tools that you can buy at the dollar store. And finally, sustain. That's the hardest part, making sure that you're following the system for organization and to audit every once in a while. Is 5S hard? No, of course it's not. Let me give you a quick example. Do you have a utensil drawer organizer in your house? Or maybe you have one of these lovely spice racks. If the answer is yes, then you're already practicing those concepts of 5S at home. Now you just have to apply it to your business. How can we apply the 5S concept in our small businesses? Well, take a look at the images on the screen. Maybe keeping those shoes organized and labeled. Maybe if you own a yarn store, you organize your yarn in a color-coded manner, easy to see like the picture on the right. If you work or own a restaurant, keeping your spices organized and putting them back in the same place every time. Now you may be thinking, I got this. All of my processes are great. I'm already a super organized person, and there isn't any room I can improve, right? Let me ask you a question. What percent of waste is in an average process? What do you think? 20%? 50%? 80%? Think about it for a minute. An average process contains 95% waste and only 5% value add. And that value add is something that the customer is willing to pay for. So, what was your guess? Were you higher or lower than 95%? Now take a step back and think about your processes and where there's opportunity to improve. What does that 95% mean to you? The 95% to you should mean that there are endless opportunities for greatness in your small business. Using the 5 concepts that we reviewed today is not a one-time deal. You should practice continuous improvement everywhere and every day, always trying to make things better. In today's session, we covered voice of the customer, Hansei or reflection, what process or processes bug you the most, Kanban, and 5S. How will these concepts help you? It helps you to save time and money and allow you and your employees to do more value-added work. It improves your processes to allow for financial savings. It helps you to understand the wants and needs of your customers and to get and stay organized. This is one of my favorite phrases. The most dangerous phrase in the language is, "We've always done it this way." Thank you for taking the time to be with me today and cover the 5 concepts of continuous improvement to help you and your small business. At Learning to Lean, our mission is to help you work smarter through continuous improvement concepts to help save you time, money, and improve your processes. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or email us at info@learningtolean.training. Our website is www.learningtolean.training, or you can reach me directly at 920-810-5775. Thank you and have a fantastic day.